Hello and welcome to the 17th video in the PHP e-commerce series. My name is Curtis. In this video we're going to do form validation and see how far we get with actually submitting this form. Form validation with this is going to be a little more difficult because we have a file for the upload. Uploading a file is actually not difficult at all. It's just validating that and trying to make it as secure as possible. There are things that you could do better than we're going to do in this video, but that's just up to you to kind of research further, but I'm going to do a little bit here. Okay, so what we want to check is make sure that post itself it is posted before we do form validation. We don't want to try to do form validation if they haven't hit submit on the form yet. So inside of that post, we're going to go ahead and what I want to do is create, first of all, we're going to do a required, and we'll make this an array. Okay, and inside of this array, we're going to give it all of the required fields. So we're going to use the names of the fields here. So there's going to be comma separated here. So title, brand, price, list price is not required. So then the next one would be we need to have parent and child, and then we're not going to make, let's look at our form here. So we got title, brand, parent, child, price. List price is not, we're going to remove that, that's not going to be, we do need sizes, and that'll be the last one. So we'll just do sizes, and let's remove the, on the list price, let's not make that required in case they don't want to put a list price on there. So here's an array built up of our form fields that we're going to say, hey, all these have to be filled out, or you can't move on. Okay, so let's go through now, and we can do the validation, and we're going to say we'll do this with a for each. How about that? So for each required as, and we'll just say field. Okay, for each one of these required here, we're going to do an if statement, if $_post, and then inside of here we're going to pass it a field. Okay, so if $_post is equal to a blank string, then we're going to add to the errors array, which we need to create here. So errors array, we'll add to it, and we're going to give it a string. We're going to say all fields with an asterisk are required. Okay, and then what we want to do is, if we hit that at any point, we don't want to print that out for each one. Actually, let's skip that step and let me show you what happens. First of all, up here in top of post, let's go ahead and create an empty errors array. So errors equals an array. Okay, and then down here, let's see, for each. Okay, so if post, so way down here after our for each loop, let's just do a couple things. Let's do an if statement. So if not empty errors, so if the errors array is not empty, we're going to display, which if you remember in our helpers file, so let's look at our helpers file, we already created a display errors function here. So what we want to do is if the errors array is not empty, we want to echo display errors, and then we're going to pass that in the errors array. Okay, and then else, if the errors, we get to the bottom of all these checks and the errors array is empty, that means that we can go ahead and update database. Okay, well, let's make a comment here. First, what we're going to do is upload file and insert into database. Okay, so let's go ahead now and just refresh the page and hit add product. So we have an undefined index of child on 24. Let's check that first. Child. So let's go look at our form. We do have a name. Let's just try this real quick. So the reason I wanted to show you that is because I wanted to add the errors, but if that hits any time, I don't want to print that out every time. So what I want to do is break right here. So what's going to happen is if one of these that's in here ends up being blank, it's going to hit this error. It's going to add this error one time, and it's going to break this loop, and then it'll get down here and print that out. So let's refresh the page here. Let's try again. So now we don't have that error, but it says, hey, all fields with asterisks are required. Let me just try a few of these and see if we get alright. I need to get rid of this echo. Okay, so we're good. It was just because I don't know what's going on there, but this break takes care of it. Let's go ahead and find that echo right here and get rid of that size string so that doesn't happen. That was just for developing purposes. So we've checked if all of our required fields now are, make sure they're not empty, so that's good. Now we're going to add another check here, and this check we want to let's see, we want to start checking our file. Okay, so what we want to do is if not empty, if not empty files $_file, files, then we want to check, we want to validate on our photo there. Okay, so what I want to do here is let's just take a look at our files array, because if you haven't done this before, we can var dump files and take a look at what we have. So let's go ahead and pick a file here. I'm just going to pick this photo I had on my computer and hit add photo. So up here now we have an array. This is what's being var dumped, and inside of this array, this files array, we have one element in here called photo, and that happened from our name of our files. And then inside of that we have an array of name, and this is the name of our computer of our file. Type, and this is our MIME type. This is an image and it's a type of PNG. This temp name is where it is temporarily stored in our temporary directory, and it gives it a name here that's just some gibberish. If there's an error, by default, right now it's 0 errors. And then size, this is the size of the image in bytes. So we can check a few things. We can check file size, we can check extension, we can check MIME type, make sure it's an image. You do a few different checks to make sure that this image is on the up and up. Okay, so what we want to do now is just, we're going to get rid of this. Actually, we're going to leave this files var dump here while we're, the whole time while we're, we'll get rid of it when we're done developing this or checking this. But what we want to do now is I'm going to set the name. So if not empty files, we can set name equal to, and then we have we have the photo. Well, first of all, let's do photo equals $_files, and then that was the first element in that, so it's a 0. Okay, so now photo is an array, and what we can do is now say name equals photo name. Let's do name array is equal to explode. We're going to explode this time by a period because it's going to be the name dot something. So what are we going to explode? Name. So that's a name array. So what we can do now is we have that array, so we can actually do file name is equal to name array 0, and then we can do file type is equal to, or let's do it, file extension is equal to name array first index, the second index, or that's just 1. Okay, so now we have some variables set up. We got the file name and file extension, and that's coming from our, right here we exploded this name, and we got the first element of that array is going to be 001. The next one would be PNG. Okay. A couple other things we can grab here is we can just say mime, and mime is going to be, let's go ahead and explode this as well. So we're going to do an explode, and we're going to explode this one by the slash, the / there, and we're going to explode photo, and that was called, let's look at our var dump, just type. Okay, so we're going to explode that type. Okay, so if you look at our var dump, this image / PNG, we got two things there. We can say mime type is equal to mime 0, and then we can say mime extension is equal to mime 1, index 1. Alright, so let's just go ahead and grab the temp location as well. Temp location, and that is equal to photo, I believe that was just TMP, and then we can do size, well, I'll do file size is equal to photo size. Okay. Alright, let's look at our var dump. Okay, we got our temp and our size, our type, we got our extension and name. Okay, we're ready to go with our validation. So now we're going to start validating, and we can just add to the errors array. So the first thing I want to check on this is I want to check that the mime type is an image. Okay, so let's go ahead and say if mime type is not equal to image, then we're just going to say errors, add to the errors array. We're going to say the file must be an image. Okay, that's all we're going to do there. So now if I save that, refresh the page, and I try to upload a video, it's going to give me an error hopefully and say, hey, offset 0 on line 31, 35, and 38. The file must be an image. There's that. So let's look at what this is. 31, 35, and 38. So right here, this actually needs to be photo. So 31, 34, 38. This should work now. Let's try to upload that video again. Save. Yipe on 36. Okay. There's a bunch of typos here. So 36. That should be type. Sorry about all these typos, guys. Oops. Open. Temp 39. Oh, temp is supposed to be temp name. Okay, so just keep on plugging away here till we don't have any errors. Alright, try one more time and I think we'll have it. That's why we left that var type. Alright, so now, or that var dump. All fields with an asterisk are required. Okay, and then we have the file must be an image. So we have our first little bit here of validation for our image. The next thing that I want to do is I want to check if let's go ahead and create an array real quick, and we're going to call this allowed, and we're just going to say allowed. We're going to create an array here, and we're going, oops, wow. So in here we want to say I want PNG, or I want JPG, or JPEG, or GIF. That's the only images I want to allow with those extension types. Okay. Alright, so what I can do now is say if file extension, well, if not in array, so what we want to find here is the needle in the haystack, and if it's not in there, hey, we want to throw an error. So the needle is going to be the file extension, and then the next part of this is the haystack, and that is the allowed array. So if it's not in there, then we want to throw in errors, and we're going to say the photo must be a PNG, JPEG, JPEG, or GIF. Okay. The photo extension must be the file extension. There we go. So let's go ahead now and try to upload that again. And what do you know? The file extension must be that. Let's add a period to that to make that error look a little nicer. Okay, so that's that. Let's do another one, and this time I want to check size. And what I want to check for size is if, and then we're going to say, let's see, if file size is greater than, and then we're going to put a number in here, and I'm going to make this, let's go ahead and look, if we Google 25 megabytes to bytes, you get a little calculator here, and we just copy that. Just to make sure this is under, oops, make sure this is under 25 megabytes. Oops. Okay. And actually, just to make sure that this is working, let's go ahead and check it. Errors. We're going to say the file size must be under 25 megabytes. We probably don't need anything this big, honestly, for a picture. We could do 15 or something, and even that's pushing it. But and you may have to adjust your PHP.ini settings to even be able to upload something that big. But let's just check this. So now if the file, if I upload a file that's more than 1 megabyte, so let's go back to pictures, and this right here is going to be larger than that. So then we see the file size must be under 15 megabytes. Of course that is under 15 megabytes, but we had set that to actually 1 megabyte. So to change that, now I'm just going to add that 5 to make it 15 megabytes. And now if I choose that same image, hit add, then you can see that we are validating on the image. Alright, let's check if the file extension matches the MIME extension to see if they've done something, because you can just change those extensions. So how about if file ext does not equal MIME ext, and so I'm going to do a group here, and what I'm going to do is if MIME type, okay, if MIME type or MIME extension is equal to JPEG and file extension is not equal to JPEG. Okay, so what this is checking two things. One, if the MIME extension is JPEG and file extension is not equal JPEG, and this is true, then we'll do an error. Okay. So we'll say file extension does not match the file. So what I've done is I've gone and manipulated a file here to try to be sneaky, and let me show you what that is. This fourth image here was actually a PNG, and I changed it to JPEG. So let's go ahead and try to upload that and see what happens. So that worked. That should not have worked. Oh, I gotta refresh the page. Let me refresh the page, and let's try that again. This should have been a PNG. Okay. For some reason my computer's actually changed that. So let's try another one really quickly. I'm gonna mess this up on purpose. Let's go to pictures. I'm gonna change this one here, just rename it to JPEG. Okay, and let's try to upload that. See what happens. Let's do one more. Let's try to change a video. Let's try to be tricky here, and we'll change this. I had this working, so let's change this to JPEG. Alright. And we'll choose a file, go to videos, and here's our JPEG. Alright. Wow. Okay, so that's not even working that well. It's not even a good test, but it's there. I don't know. I don't know why this image, this should not see that as an image. This kind of proves that you can't really rely upon these MIME types very much. So that's why I said for added security, you know, you need to do some more research on how to handle that. So I'm going to go ahead and fix that. Rename MP4. Alright, so that's all the file validation I'm going to do, and then in the form we're just checking to make sure these are all filled out. Let's go ahead now and upload this stuff to the database. What we need to do is create a upload location. So we're going to say upload location is going to equal, and here what we're going to do is our base URL, and then we're going to say / and then the name of your project / we're going to put this in images, and then put this inside of our products. So that's our path. We could call this upload path. That's where we're going to put the image. We need to give the image a name, and so what I'm going to do is we're going to take upload name now, and what we're going to do is we're going to do an MD5 hash and of micro time, and then we're going to concatenate onto that a period, and then we're going to concatenate onto that the file extension. Okay, so it's going to have the same file extension. Okay, and so for what we need to put in the database, though, we don't want this base URL. We actually want to call this, what do we want to call it? How about DB path for database path? And that one is actually just going to be the name / and it needs to be a string. So it's going to be tutorial, okay, / images, and this needs to be / here. So images / products, okay, and then we're going to concatenate on the upload name, okay. Right. Let's go ahead and take a look at our database and see how we did those images. Yep, that's going to work. So now, if all of this happens, what we need to do is go ahead and there's a file or a pre-built function in PHP called move uploaded file. Okay, and basically all you have to do is tell it the temp path. So we can say TMP LOC for temp location, and then we got to that's where it was coming from, and we got to tell it where it's going. So that's actually going to be this upload path right here, and this upload path actually needs to we need to concatenate on the upload name, and in order to do that we're going to have to move this below the upload name. We're almost done here. Alright, so there's that. So we just need to plug that in. So this is upload path. So that will actually save this file now into our images products here. It will save it, and we're going to name it this. It's going to be like this gibberish dot whatever the original extension was. And then the other thing that we need to do now is go ahead and insert it into the database. So we're just going to call this insert SQL, and this is just going to be what I need to do really quickly too. Is up here at the top of this post, we need to go ahead and set up all of our variables and make sure that they're escaped. So the first one is going to be title equals sanitize, then that'll be $_post title. Okay, and then we have brand. That's going to be, we're going to sanitize that. Oops. And that'll be $_post. That'll be brand. And then we have categories. I'm just calling these what they're called in the database just for sanitize $_post, and this time we got to choose child, the child element there. Okay, and then we're going to do price sanitize $_post price. Then we'll do list price sanitize list price. We'll do, let's look at our form. Oh, we got sizes and description. Sizes equals and then we have description ties $_post description. Okay. Alright, so now we have all of those, and we just need to make our SQL statement. So to do that, it's insert into, then the name of the table we're inserting, which is products, and then we're going to do in parens, we'll do all of our deals, and then we're going to say values, and then another set of parens. So these have to be in the same order. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do title, and by the way, these are not going to be single quotes, they're backticks, which is above the tab. So we'll say title, comma, price, list price, and then we have brand, and then we're going to have categories, and then we have categories, and we have, let's look at our database, brand, categories, description, sizes, title, price, list, brand. Okay. Sizes, and then our image is we need to go ahead and put images as well, and I think that's it. Okay, so the last one we'll do is image. I'm gonna go ahead and echo that down, or go to the next line for this. So these will be in single quotes now. So we have title, and they have to go in the same order as the top one. So we have price, again single quotes. Okay, then we have list, price, then we have brand, and then we have categories, and then we have sizes, and then last we need to put in this DB path. So DB path. Now, if they don't upload an image, this DB path won't exist. So up here above this if not empty files, let's go ahead and do DB. Actually, we can do this at the top, just with the rest of our variables. We're just going to say DB path equals a blank string. Alright, so let's test everything now. Line 14, unexpected semicolon. And that is because we're missing our closing paren there. I was missing the closing paren. Alright, so let's go ahead and try to upload a product. So we'll just call this test, and then I give it a brand, and give it men, let's give it girls, dresses. Actually, you know what? Let's give this gifts, home decor, price $45.99, list price $55.99. Sizes, we're just gonna small. We're gonna say 3, and we're gonna say medium 1, 2. This is a super awesome product, so buy it. We'll do another line too, another line, and then we're going to choose a photo, and I'm going to go to pictures and choose my ugly face and hit add product, and I got a problem. Undefined constant micro time on line 50. That's because I don't, that is actually a function, and it needs the opening and closing paren after it. Let's try that again. Okay, test, test, test. And then I'll do my ugly face again, hit add product. Dang it. Opt lamp, tutorial. Oh, okay. I see what that, I see what this is. Move upload file. We don't, with this base URL, it is including this already. So let's look at what it's trying to upload. So we can remove that / tutorial, and we can remove this / as well. So let's remove / tutorial and the other /, and that's our upload path. Let's try it one more time, and hopefully we'll be good to go. Not applicable. Save. File upload. Test. test. Pricked and 72. We're gonna get through this, I promise. Just have this is supposed to be price. I just have so many typos that we can't do this. Test, polo, gifts, 45, 5, quantity, not applicable. We got a lot of these. Save changes. Choose my face here. Test. Alright. Let's see if that worked in the database. We can hit browse again. It did not work. Dang it. Let's see if we uploaded the photos. Oh, it did upload these photos. They're in the wrong place. So we're missing our products on our path. Sorry about all the typos, guys. This is getting annoying. So let's look at that upload path. Oh, we have images twice. So it should be, this is the database path. Images / products. This actually needs to be /. We need a / there as well. I'm really tired. I've shot a lot of video today. Hopefully you guys can just bear with me, and just not quite on my game right now. 45. But you can kind of see what developing, most of the time, you know, you're fixing problems that you created. And let's see if this uploads this time. You know why this isn't uploading? I can tell you right now. We didn't actually execute our query. We just created this SQL here. And so we need to actually run that query. In order to do that, that's database query, and it's going to be, we'll pass it in our insert SQL. The other thing we want to do is, if that happens, we want to do a header, and we're going to redirect that to location, and we're just going to say products.php. Okay. Hopefully it add, and it redirected us, and now we can see that there's test, $45, gifts, home decor. It's not featured by default. If I can hit featured there, it changes it to featured. Let's go and look and see, make sure our photo is actually in the file now. So if I go to images, products, and boom, there it is. See, it has this gibberish name. And let's go ahead and just go back to the front end of the page now. And since I featured it, it's right here. If I hit details, there it is. Here is our $45. Details doesn't seem to have our information in it. But here we have N85 available, and we can put in our quantity. So let's go and see what happened in our database. Description, oh, we refresh this. Our description did not go in, so let's make sure we spelled that correctly here. Well, it appears that I forgot to even insert it. That's why it's not in there. Description. Okay, and then we'll add that at the end here as well. And let's make sure at the top of the page here we even have, yeah, we do have it there. Alright, so let's add one more product. So let's go back to admin, products, and let's hit add product. I'm going to put dress, brand, I don't know, how about the Levi's dress, who knows. We're going to do women, dresses, and we're going to make this $29.99, list price $59.99. Sizes, we're just going to do small. I don't know how dresses are actually sized, but I'm just going to make some numbers up here. Okay. Description, this is my beautiful dress. Please buy it. Let's see if we can get a picture of a dress here. Let me see in videos. See, I had my images. Oh, that won't work. It doesn't matter what picture we use for now. I'm just going to use this picture here. Alright, so add product. We'll go ahead and feature that on the front. And let's look in our database now and see if it's added. Alright, so you can see the description is now added because we didn't leave it out. And let's go ahead and look on the front of the website. Make sure it's there. Here it is. We got some style issues to take care of. Look at this in here. We have a few things to work out in our modal here. Here's our sizes. We have an extra available there, so let's I know why that is too. In our original modal, which is right here, this details modal, let's open that up. And in the description, the size array as string. Where's that size array? So the size string right here, we need to get rid of that last comma. So we'll just say size string equals right trim, and then we're going to trim size string, and we're going to trim off that last comma there. The next thing that we're going to do is down here, so that'll take care of that extra value. And then in our description, what we need to do is wrap that in a function called NL2BR, and that will actually preserve our line breaks and make it look like there's multiple lines. So let's go ahead and look at that now. If I refresh the page, open the details modal, you can see I have multiple lines now, and in sizes I don't have that extra little empty deal there. So it's not great, it's good, needs some improvement, but anyways, we have now added the product to our database from the back end, and hopefully you've learned something, and I will see you in the next video where we will go ahead and take care of editing and deleting our products from the database. Until then, I hope you have enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.